Hi guys, so I realised the other day it's been a long time since we had a battle of the blenders. So today we have the W7 Powerpuff coming to face off against the standard Beauty Blender. Now everybody knows the Beauty Blender, which is why I always use it in these face-offs. Beauty Blender's about £16, this is £5.95, unless you find it in TK Maxx where it is £2.99. So I have done my makeup today using both these sponges and I am going to insert that bit now. Okay, so I've got the two side by side. I mean, first thing we have to say is the Powerpuff is nowhere near as squishy. I'm not really anticipating this taking on a lot of water, and I've got a feeling it's going to be a bit like the unicorn sponge, but we will see what happens. So let's do the Beauty Blender first, pop it in the water. I'm so warm today, it's really warm in Glasgow. I almost wish I could just take this Beauty Blender soaked in cold water and just sit and dab it on my face for as long as I want. But can't do that, so I've actually just remembered that I haven't primed my face, so I'm going to do that to keep this fair and so that I'm judging things properly. So I'm just using the Soap and Glory One Heck of a Block. As usual when I do these videos, I've mixed up two batches of Cover FX Custom Cover Drops with One Heck of a Blot, and I've got a similar sized serving for each sponge so that we can see kind of how far the product goes, and you can see how messy my room is. So just going into the right hand one, and we'll do the right hand of my face. So as ever, Beauty Blender, nice and soft, blends things out really nice and easily, and just feels really comfortable to bounce off your skin. So yeah, really quick and easy, and that's roughly how much foundation we've got left. So I'm happy with that. Obviously I'll be going in with concealer to do my under eyes anyway. So Powerpuff, like I said, I'm really not anticipating this taking on much water at all, but we can only see. I can only try it and see. Now it's doing that weird bubble thing, which you get with the really dense sponges, and it's just kind of looking a little bit weird. Bits of it do seem to have swollen out, but not that evenly. But yeah, I think it does look like it's increased in size a little bit. I think the best way to tell, not evenly, is I've still got the box. And the box doesn't quite close, but still closes. So definitely a much smaller size increase than the Beauty Blender, which doesn't fit in its tub at all. So see how it does. So this does feel a lot like how I remember the unicorn sponge from Spectrum feeling. It's giving me a nice finish though. Right. I feel like it was a little bit slower than the Beauty Blender, possibly because when I'm kind of bouncing it against my face, because it's quite firm, it doesn't squash down as much, so I feel like I'm not covering as much surface area in one go. But that has done a really nice job of coverage, and actually I would say I might have used less foundation to do that side than with the Beauty Blender, because this doesn't, this doesn't seem like it's soaked up a lot of product at all, probably because it's really dense. So I'm just going to grab my concealers and we will try those. So my Kiko Natural Concealer in number 1, which is clear, which to me is a nice under eye corrector shade. So I'll do that first. Get the nice end of my Beauty Blender. I'm not sure how that firm sponge is going to feel doing this delicate eye area, but we will find out. Okay, so this is the end that went a bit kind of wonky when we tried the whole water thing. Let's see. Now this seems to be taking a lot more effort to blend out on this side. And again, maybe it's because it's not absorbing any product that, it's just not blending out as quickly as the Beauty Blender did with this side. Yeah, so, okay. So, just do my normal concealer as well. I've just started using the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer. I'm shade L5 Neutral. Now, I've put slightly less on this side, which might work out in our favour, but we'll see what happens. So this is a fairly thick concealer, a lot of coverage, so I'm expecting this to be a little bit harder to blend out than the Kiko anyway. And Beauty Blender's done a really nice job, as ever. And this guy, right, let's see what we get here. So I'm actually just going to keep tapping this until it blends, just so we can see just how long it takes. Unless I lose patience, which might happen. We're almost there. Okay, so it took a bit more blending out, but it's finished up looking a bit higher coverage than the Beauty Blender side, which is interesting. So, do I really have many spots to kind of spot conceal? That's a freckle before Andy says you're missing a giant one. No, I'll do the sides of my nose just because a lot of people do that and it is an awkward place to blend. So it's a good test to include. In my opinion anyway. If you disagree, let me know. So Beauty Blender fits in there nicely. For all that I was saying, it looks like I've got higher coverage on the Powerpuff side. I've actually got a demarcation line on my nose where the Beauty Blender side ends. So, oopsie, maybe I was wrong. Oh well, okay. So, as ever, Beauty Blender, nice. Small point, soft material, goes in there, no bother. And this, it's definitely my nose that's moving out of the way of the sponge rather than the sponge fitting the contour of my nose, and it's not quite getting in there unless I properly screw my face up. So that bit of my nose is actually bugging me, so I'm just going to quickly try and even that all out. Oh, it looks like I've highlighted my nose now. Okay. Highlight my forehead and try and even that out a little bit. Okay, so last but not least, I do use my beauty blender to apply my bake. So we're going to give that a try with both of these. And Illamasqua's loose setting powder, as ever. I am in love with this powder. Tap some out into the lid. Beauty blender first. Picks up powder, no bother. Really nice for placing it under the eye. Ideal on the cheekbone, just to kind of start the highlight. Jawbone, pretend I've got one. And I do my forehead and my nose, purely because they're very oily areas for me. And actually, my chin gets oily too. Let's just go the whole hog. So the Power Puff, which I've occasionally went to call the Powder Puff. We'll see how it does with powder. So it picks it up, but it's not really depositing a layer like you want with a bake, unless it's quite loaded up on there. In fact, I'm going to have to tip out a little bit more powder to do this. I didn't put out enough. So it looks like there's plenty on there. Yeah, that's better. Okay. I don't know, something's just not... Unless there's like a lot of powder on it, it's not really transferring as well as I would like. So I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to finish off my makeup, and I will come back and let you know how this all worked out moving forward. Okay, so as you can see, both sides of my face have came out pretty similarly, I would say. The amount of foundation, I'd say, is pretty similar, as in what's left is pretty similar, so they've used up the same amount. I forgot to mention that when I was soaking this in the water and trying to work the water into it, there was no dye coming out, which I don't want to say it's unusual, but if you've had a beauty blender or used a beauty blender, the first couple of times you use it, there is pink dye that comes out. It doesn't transfer onto your skin, and that's coming from me, so I'm pretty pale. If it was going to show up, I'd probably be suffering from it. But it just always slightly niggled in the back of my head. So, application, they both gave me nice looking makeup. Feel while you're using it, Beauty Blender totally wins for me. It feels nice bouncing this in your face. It doesn't feel quite so nice bouncing this on your face. And then because of the extra squishiness, it's much easier to get in the wee corners around your nose than it is with the W7, which is also just not quite as tapered to begin with either. I also just don't know why this came out wonky once I kind of tried to soak it. It's almost like the material's different densities in different parts of it, which just seems odd. But ultimately, a beauty blender is about £16, so this is only about a third of the price. So that can be a big factor for a lot of people. I'm not going to reach for it again. I can tell you that straight away, I'm not going to reach for it again. I would prefer to use the Beauty Blender or the one from Poundland, which I'll link the video for, or my foundation brush. I find brushes just much easier. But up to yourselves. So if you've got any questions about either of these products, or if you know of any other products similar to these that you would like to see in a face off, put that down below and I will get back to you. But I will speak to you guys later. Bye.